Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the BNR Truck Series. Alongside of me tonight is Mr. Will. Good evening, Will.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Bryan.
Myrtle Beach tonight.
Yes, indeed, Myrtle Beach for the Craftsman Truck Series here in the BNR Racing Series of Leagues. So excited to see it, how these truckers are going to manage this half-mile D-shaped oval.
Oh yeah, I heard very slick. A little loose, that's for sure. So
Yeah, Myrtle Beach has always been notoriously a kind of a slick track. It's a bit progressive banked, so in the turns, it's 13 degrees of banking. The front straightaway has 3 degrees. Excuse me, the front straightaway has 4 degrees. The back straightaway has 3 degrees. So uh, it's been around ever since 1958, Brian. It got it officially got paved from it being a dirt track to an actual pavement track in what do we have here? 1974. So it ran all the way from 58 to 74 as a dirt track. The NASCAR Convertible Series held a race here in 58. The NASCAR Grand National East Series held its first race here in 72. So it did a lot of dirt track racing back in its heyday. And its inaugural, I guess you could say it's really good, strong, almost 25 years that it held as a dirt track before it was paved. This track has hosted the names of Jeff Gordon, all the Earnhardts from Ralph all the way to Kelly Earnhardt. All 4 generations of the Pettys, from Lead all the way to Adam. So it's a very historic place as far as oval racing in America goes. I would have to say a very historic half-mile short track. It's very challenging, very challenging. It can bring out the best in everybody. Kind of like a almost kind of what Richmond used to be like the original Richmond, before it got kind of restructured. Even though Richmond wasn't as banked, I would have to say probably. Another track you could probably maybe kind of hope to compare it to, if anybody remembers the Colorado Springs track. I think it's 8/10 of a mile short track, or it might be just a mile, but if anybody remembers watching any racing from there. So the NASCAR Busch Series, which we call the Xfinity Series today, Brian, ran here from 88 to 2000. So it had a pretty long tenure on the Xfinity Series schedule, but unfortunately, when the bigger tracks came to be, like Texas and other tracks to that nature, Las Vegas, Kentucky, Nashville, those dates got put on the schedule, and tracks like Myrtle Beach was taken away, South Boston, etc. So, like I said, very historic track. Late models are the Whelen Modified Series. That we see those big block modifieds race. That is what has made this track famous. Now, unfortunately, this track no longer exists in the real world, but thanks to iRacing, it can still exist. It can still carry on its legacy and its name. So I think maybe the only thing that still stands, if it still stands today, is the front stretch wall, I think. Housing developments, really sad to see racetracks go to the wayside like they do. You have the starting lineup, Brian.
yes, sir. I'm gonna go to race information real quick. So is Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, a point 5 mile track. Weather is 65 degrees, 80% humidity, clear skies. 4 mile per hour wind, 200 laps, 108 miles, 80% fuel, 4 sets of tires, 1 quick fix, and 3 attempts at a green white checker. Now I'm going to go over the starting grid here. So P1 would be Brandon Moore, P2 would be Troy Daggett, P3 would be Dave Barry, P4 would be Jacob Carter. P5 would be Jaden Sanchez, P6 would be Mark Berry, P7 would be Matthew Huntsaker, P8 would be Jason Pearson, P9 would be Ernest King, P10 would be JD, P11 would be Brian Schwartz, P12 would be Tyler Myers, P13 would be Pete Woodrum, P14 would be Joe Stite, P15 would be Michael Day, P16 would be Daniel Lyle, P17 would be Randy Busquette, P18 would be Paul Lawson, P19 would be Robert Amaro, P20 would be Christopher Campbell, P21 would be Deion Johnson, P22 would be Justin Steves, P23 would be Cameron Smith, and P24 would be Chris Camary, and P25 would be David Fashholz. And thank you, Ernie. We sure as well have a great race up here in the booth. Hopefully you guys have fun out there, and I did make a mistake. Unfortunately, you guys are supposed to race at night, but that does happen, so.
So that AMS league, do they have a sports car league?
Yes.
Because that Matt Malone guy is streaming it says AMS round 4 at Suzuka.
Yeah, that's probably them.
Dang. So they're kind of a well-known group, I'm assuming.
For the sports car side of things, yes. Anyway, well, Brandon Moore, Daggett, Barry, Carter, Barry, the top 5. Pace truck is off.
It's a long, kind of reminds you almost of Phoenix or Indianapolis Raceway Park, how the pit lane just wraps around the racetrack like it does all the way basically from the middle of the back straightaway. Here we go, green flag out in the air. Very technical track, I'd have to say. You got to be very careful getting back to the throttle. You want that wheel to be as straight as possible. That outside momentum seems to be prevailing early, as already the lead taken away from Brandon Moore.
They go to Troy Daggett.
Yes, Daggett taking the lead early here. He's going to lead the first couple of laps. Everybody trying to get those tire temps up. Oh, we got a slider coming out of turn 4. Onto the front straightaway. Don't know if he had help or not. It is so easy, as we talked about it at the top of the show. Very slick surface. So it can be very easy to just whip it around, getting back to the throttle. If you have lots of laps around Richmond, it should be, I would almost say, fairly easy to get into a rhythm to where, you know, you can come off of this final corner here just like you normally would at Richmond, almost even North Wilkesboro, but these tracks are slightly different, and that looks to be just about what happened here with Jaden, just getting back to the throttle. Bit too early here, still on these cold tires that we presume still cold, so haven't even got the temperature built up in them. Mistakes can happen to anyone at any time.
Oh yeah. It's a very, very tight track. Not so much room to finesse around a little bit, Will, but...
No, not at all. That racing groove, it will, just like at Richmond, if we can remember, you know, watching any racing at Richmond, how that groove, it'll kind of float you out of the corner up towards the flag stand and basically up towards the wall off a corner exit, either of turn 4 or turn 2, and that's the same way that it does here, more or less. And you really want to keep that wheel almost as straight as you can for those types of tracks like this that are, basically a slight D-shaped oval, to where that front straightaway isn't so straight. It has that slight kink to it, Brian, to where you do have to still have some turn into the wheel, but hopefully you can get that power down back onto the throttle like you need to. But we're going to see that all night. Drivers struggling all night.
Absolutely, we are, Will. You see, Justin couldn't get out in time, so he will fall a lap down.
Kind of surprised, Justin, I would kind of picture him to be almost a dark horse, kind of a sleeper here tonight, but already falling a lap down. Should be able to recover.
Waved it off.
That's what it looks like, Brian. That flag man, Barney's still waving the flag, so that yellow flag still in the air. They didn't obviously like the restart, so the admins waved it off here. Let me get my handy dandy notes here. And
Pace truck's back off, so hopefully they can get reorganized up here.
Daggett has the control of this race out there in the outside lane. Looks like this restart is a green. So
another yellow flag is out.
Oh man, cautions, breeding cautions, Brian.
This looks like
not what these truckers want to see. Looks like maybe a jam up on the restart, perhaps. Somebody not really going. Maybe some spinneroonie of the tires. Yeah, let's get that back just a little bit more. Looks to be what might have happened to the 42. I believe that's the 42.
Yes.
He either spun his tires or missed a shift. Couldn't get into gear properly, more or less. And that's going to be some heavy contact to the 42 and 78 machines respectfully, but just not sure if the 15, I believe that's the 15.
Yes, there's Chris Mary.
Chris Mary in the 15, just he was ready to get going on that restart, that's for sure, and just don't really know what to say there, Brian. Just one of those cautions, breeding cautions moments here, more or less. That should put Justin Steves, though, back on the lead lap. I don't think he was involved in that.
Correct.
So
his wave around, and he will be back on the lead lap, Will.
So already second caution of asking, only 12 laps into this race, but only about, 5 laps green, Brian? 4, something like that?
Yes, sir.
So maybe these truckers hopefully can get a handle on this track and on their trucks here and start logging some laps, because we know it won't take too long for these truckers to knock these laps down. Now, I can only assume that this track, how old of the surface it is and everything, it obviously probably going to be just a cheese grater on those tires. So tires are going to be of importance. Who can save these tires the best here tonight probably will walk away with the victory, Brian.
I agree with you, Will. Old surface, rough tires, especially those little speed turtles there, where you come out of the pits there, and a lot of drivers, when they hit that, it lifts your truck up every time you hit it. So That's going to be another thing to watch out for, which will take some tire wear away from your tires there and cause you to be put in a tough situation. Anyway,
Yeah, that
well,
curbing, you really want to stay off of it, just like as if you were at Martinsville. Green flag about to be back in the air, displayed to all the drivers here. You can see Dave Barry trying to fight, get up inside the podium positions. Jacob Carter in that 54 machine, trying not to let him go. So many good battles all throughout the back of the pack.
it's a very, very tight race.
Yeah, you can get single file here real easily and it'll turn into a conveyor belt. Oh, more contact made. Oh, this is going to take out at least 5 trucks. 5 trucks in total, I do believe, involved here. That is Mark Berry getting clipped by Pearson, I believe.
I know it did start with Tyler.
Oh, okay, that's Tyler in the 8.
Yes.
Okay, excuse me. Tyler Myers in the 8. And, yes, Mark Berry's in the 9. I should have known that. But, yes, hard racing coming out of turn 4. Okay, that was the 4 of Lyle. So, I'm just getting... It happened so quick. I just saw blurs, to be honest. So...
Don't know if Tyler knew that the 4 was out there. He kept coming up, and the 4 was already out there.
They just make contact here. This is just a case of short track racing, truly. The 4 was really wrapping the high side, but I think he might have just got a little bit loose, Brian, and swerved over into Myers. And really, it was just truly a coming together, more or less. Neither driver at fault here, but, oh, man. Jaden trying to avoid and just nowhere to go. It looks like, for the most part there.
Yeah, and ends up clipping Chris Mary.
Yeah, so who's in the 187?
That
he takes a
Fashholtz.
He takes a good lick. So becoming a race of attrition early on, Brian.
Oh yeah.
Some of these drivers already, these truckers get one quick fix, right?
Yes.
So, some of these drivers might have already used it earlier on. We've had 2 cautions already. Some of these truckers involved in some of those cautions already. So now, what do you do? I also got told
they've been all right. So.
Yeah, I would say about 8th on back, give or take 9th, No, everybody's been trying to mind their P's and Q's, let everybody in if they can, But 9th on back, 8th, maybe 10th on back. It's been a melee. It's been a lot of scrimmaging. These guys did tell me a full tank of gas is about 105, 110, Brian. So... we might see, people like Daggett, Moore, Barry, Hunsaker, Brother Mark, even Pearson, Ernie in the 24, O'Brien, Swartz, Lyle. We could see a handful of these guys just go as far as they can go on that fuel window, then finally make that pit stop. Because truly, if you can go that far on fuel, you only need to truly make one pit stop, right? In theory. So, green flag waving back out in the air. Daggett back to the front. He's getting good drive off and through taking that arcing into the corner like he is on these restarts. It looks like everybody's trying to, give some racing room, spread out, but this is a very tight technical short track here. It's tough. It is a tough track. Lyle, I think, just bounced out of turn 2, so everybody's in the wars today, that is for sure. It's almost like racing at North Wilkesboro. Or, as we just talked about, Lyle, is this going to be a caution? No, he's way down. Apparently, iRacing says he's off the track. He is, though. He is off the track. So, don't fester a caution. But there is the race leaders coming up right on him quick.
Oh, absolutely. You see there, Chris, with the hitting the rumble strips there. Chris is
yes, he's in a position.
Short track guys as well. So.
Yes, he likes racing late models and anything really that.
There is your caution there.
Just couldn't drive out of that spin once it started to slap around on him, and it just finally got all the way around. I don't know if he got contact from Swartz or not. We're going to have to rewind that replay. About the start-finish line, Brian, is probably where we want to pick it up at.
So you see
right here is good too.
Yep. That was just maybe a quick lock of the brakes.
Coming out of turn 4 here.
Going into 1, you see there, the rear looks like it's sliding out like that.
Oh, yeah.
And just... This track is a rhythm
track. For sure.
They always said if you ain't got the rhythm, you're going to be off of it completely. So... Brian Schwartz did a hell of a job avoiding the 11. And that right there, I told you the turtles, it's going to upset the truck a bit. But...
It seems like an easy...
Go ahead.
It seems like an easy track, Brian, that you can wheel hop getting into the corner like we've seen before at a track like, say, Martinsville or even Richmond.
That and this
North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, this way here's what I expect out of people. Wait till everybody's clear and then work your way back up the track. Don't just instantly mash it in reverse and hope that people see you, but...
Yes, if you can, always hold that brake, lock it down, try to get out of the racing groove as fast as possible, lock it down, stay out of the racing groove, but sometimes, Brian, it's just not possible, but other times you're like, okay.
Absolutely, I agree with you, Will. Like I said, it's a very rhythm track, the drivers are saying. Great track to drive on, they said, for some of them, not all of them. So... It's just,
short track racing, Brian, isn't for everyone, and that's understandable. It takes a special type of etiquette, driver etiquette, to be smooth in and out of these corners throughout them as well. Trying to apply that throttle back down to where you need it to get down the straightaways into the next set of corners. So. Maybe if we get another caution here, we can grab that trusty cane and pull somebody up into the booth, talk to him for a moment. But until then, just like to thank each and every one of you for coming out, tuning in so far, rooting, cheering on your favorite BNR Truck Series competitor. Getting done working the 4th caution of the race, 32 laps in, going to take lap 35 here. Troy Daggett been pretty dominant so far. Brandon Moore, though, trying to put up a fight this time on this restart, but can't have any dice to play whatsoever at this moment in time. So, tires ain't even got heated up. Now, we have talked before in the past what a battle it would be, what a great race it would be one day to have Brandon Moore and Troy Daggett in the same race. I think finally now we have gotten that Make-A-Wish Foundation come true as far as getting them in the same race.
See that Carter sent the hit under that 78.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, I had to get the rest of it.
Oh, you're good. I thought we must have a moment on the exit of 4 there, but they got it.
Yeah. Oh, you see Randy off track there. That is not.
Yeah, he's way off track. So you can't park there, Randy. I mean, I guess you can, but you also can't. Well, kind of made him work for him. It's taking a minute for Randy to find reverse. Hopefully he can get it and not go too many laps down here.
Yes, I think he's stuck back there.
I think he found an invisible wall. Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, come on, Randy, get it. So.
Oh, what a BNR's funniest moment right there. You know, Randy, your scholar, buddy. See there, Chris, looking to get underneath Jacob Carter. Oh, man.
That is the 70.
78, yeah.
Yes, indeed, of Johnson going around.
Once again, I want to say probably a little brake issue going in there. Yeah, as you see there.
Looks like the same thing that happened with JD.
Like I said, Will, it is a very tough track.
Looks like, every time, they just kind of go around on their own, it almost looks like they're getting caught out by it. They're not really expecting it to, I was going to say whip out, but that sounded so bad, to just all of a sudden break out from underneath them like that. But right as they try to get the nose to turn for the corner, that's when it starts to break out on them, it looks like, so.
Oh, yeah. Just like that. Hard braking, Will. Braking zone. Now, you want to try to. A lot of them came to the conclusion that you want to try to brake in a straight line before you start turning. And that can be one difficult thing, especially in these trucks, depending on what type of offset that you have in the truck. So no one was harmed in that one, so that was good by Dion. Another one, awesome job. Thank you.
Well, who should we grab to pull up here in the booth with us for a moment, Brian?
Whoever you would like.
Well, let's try to grab Matthew. If Matthew Huntsager is up there, I think he is.
Yes, sir, he is. Matthew, you got a copy?
Yes, hello, Brian. How are you?
Doing all right. Okay, well,
Matthew, you've shown before in the past historically, you've had some speed on short tracks before. I know it's kind of a breeding caution fest at the moment, but if you can get a long green flag run in here, you think you got something for Daggett or even Brandon, or you think maybe third is all you got at the moment?
Maybe. I'm just trying to save my stuff right now. Keep it straight. Yes. I'm not trying to get it sideways. I might, hopefully.
Trying to get to that fuel window, right, to where you can just make that pit stop, and then it's just all race from that point on, huh?
Yeah, or maybe hopefully one of these two make a mistake and I can get up there.
Well, already started. Right. So you're going back to green here. We'll go ahead and get you back up there, and best of luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, I just beat you to the punch.
Yes, you did. There you go, Matthew, one of the competitors that will actually wish ill will on his fellow competitors. So,
fifth caution of the night. as they get ready to take the green flag again here, Will. And the green flag's back out again.
Barry restarting in that outside 4th position. We've seen he's been kind of strong on these restarts, trying to get a position almost every restart here, as these truckers trying to keep their trucks as straight as possible. You see Swartz having a bit of a bottleneck. Oh, he's trying to save it from going around. I believe he does. As, oh no, Cameron Smith and Sanchez, I believe.
Yes.
Having a bit of a moment. I believe Cameron saved his. No contact is made, but can't say the same, I do believe, for Jaden. He made contact along the way with somebody. I believe we just have some synchronized spinning, or maybe some spinning because some people, I think they saw Swartz get loose and they felt sorry for him, so they thought, well, here, I'll spin my truck out. It's like some sympathy spins is about to happen, because I think possibly, more than likely, you have...
Well, that was a little net code there with Cameron.
Yeah. I was going to say, maybe if he doesn't get hit, maybe Cameron does some evasive maneuvers or something, maybe. But yes, it looks like there might have been some net code between the Swartz and Smith mobiles, and man, oh man, Jaden just gets caught up in another one here. He brought out the first caution of the race, and unfortunately after that, he just can't stay out of them. He is he's trying his best to avoid them, but just you're going to see here Lyle in the Ford truck. He's going to check up for what's in front of him, and Jaden's like, oh, I gotta avoid that, and just there's nowhere to go whenever all this starts to unfold. Because right there, Jaden just gets sideswiped because of the net coding that goes off. So, kind of an innocent bystander this time, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Inches away from hitting, Cameron. So that could have been a lot worse. Maybe Jaden can get out there. I know that's some... that was pretty slight, hard contact, but maybe Jaden can get that repaired and log laps, get some more experience here. Don't know how much track time he does have here, but any track time helps, just in case you ever come back here, or any other type of experience that you can maybe take to another track that is similar that we've already talked about this evening.
Yep. Well, next week these guys head to Iowa. So.
Yes, indeed. I was about to say that. So.
The wonderful world of Iowa. So. Should be a good one.
Yeah, they're going to go racing in the cornfields.
Cameron don't look too nicked. Cameron's truck looks just all right. So. Get back up here to the front. Pace truck is pulling off. Once again, Daggett, Brandon Moore.
Green flag back out in the air. 7th time in total. Patience getting back to the throttle. Patience trying to work around somebody in traffic. Patience all around. You can see Matthew working that outside now, trying to get around Brandon Moore in the 3 truck up front. Further back through the field, though, we have battles all around that we've had all throughout the night. Quarter of a way into this race now. Just past that 50 lap mark, so
run by Campbell and Joe Stipe, by the way.
Yeah, Joe's pretty good at short tracks. As long as he can keep his truck clean, he's pretty conservative and pretty consecutive whenever it comes to laying down lap times, I do believe. So.
Same thing with Chris too. Chris, another short track guy.
I believe as long as these truckers can get those noses planted where they want to, how they want to, settle the truck through the corner, they can, well.
Tyler Myers, loopty.
Yep, and collects Robert Amaral and not
Sanchez
sure.
Again.
Oh, poor Jaden, man. He has been in the wars for sure this evening. 7th caution at lap 55 of asking.
Once again, hard braking. That brake zone is what does it. Just as we think they get situated. As we watch here going into one, Chris on the inside. Tyler turning in the car and also hitting the brakes at the same time, which was one of the things I was telling you about. This track, you want to brake in a straight line and then let it roll. So, this is what happens just like that, where you just lose it. You see Jaden locking up the front of that car. And then Robert Amaral comes through, Randy Busquet, Dion, and then everybody else right behind him. So wild one for sure, Will. Tough one. But, yet again, short track and just the nature of the beast, shall we say. Yes, and like I said, poor Jaden got caught up in every one so far. But he's not giving up. He's out there still running laps and trying to pull the magical roll here, so we'll see if he can get it done. That's for sure. So Daggett, Moore, Hunsaker, Ernie King, Jacob Carter, Joe Stipe, Pearson, Chris Camary, Brian Schwartz, and Cameron Smith is your top 10, Will.
Yes, indeed. We have Dave Barry, who pitted, I do believe, under this caution. A handful of drivers have pitted here. And we have 5 trucks, all 1 lap down. Tyler Myers.
I say.
Jaden Sanchez, Lyle, the 2 trucker, yes. So then Paul Lawson in the 42 is 3 laps down. Randy Busquet in the 75 is 6 laps down. 4 laps down. Sorry, Randy. I put you 2 laps. I lapped Randy twice.
If they can just be calm and get situated, they can do this. I know they can. Tough track, short track is what we get. The excitement and everything else. But anyway, Will, green flag is back out again. See if they can maintain it here. Shot in the rear by the 9. The Cameron Smith on the outside. A lot of checking up. But that is fine. Just want to keep it green so these drivers can get it going.
Yes, we'd like to see more than just 10 green flag laps of asking. As we say that calamity in turns 1 and 2. This is about a 6-truck incident, if not 8. Lock her down, Randy. Just, okay, that works too. A lot of those trucks are going to be either put another lap down or trapped a lap down. We've got synchronized spinning because some stuff happened in the back as well, Brian. So
this happened right in front of Dayberry. As they go into 1. Oh, our schedule maker is sure as heck getting probably a good laugh out of this one for the truck side. So you see there, 94 is already sideways. The 9 hits the brakes, try to avoid it, and gets sideways there. And then old Dave just comes in, tries to lock it in. Campbell gets boom.
Both of the Berry brothers, Campbell, Deion Johnson. And like I said, there's some stuff that happens further back, I guess reacting to what happens a bit further ahead, but there's some trucks sideways further back.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were just spinning out of sympathy of the trucks in front of them, or
now that was
what was transpiring. Oh, man. He just loses it getting on the brakes here, Brian.
And JD. And then Randy thought he can clear it. No, he cannot. Tyler. Just calamity in turn 1, Will. Turn 1 seems to be the biggest issue.
Well, turn 1, the entry to turn 1, and just that turn 4 exit has proven to be the biggest problems for these truckers here this evening.
Yes, sir, indeed it is. I know Brian and Will would like to see some good green flag racing, but time will tell, I guess.
Like I said earlier, about our 3rd caution, I truly believe this race will become a race of attrition. Just have to give it some time. These trucks will surely thin the herd.
And the pace truck is off. Troy is going to take the green flag again. Pace yourself, fellas. Pace yourself.
Yeah, you do have to feel, 8 cautions in less than 100 laps here. We do know how tough of a short track this is, but there's a difference in, it being just a tough track and also just not being patient enough to just ride out enough of this race to try to even figure out what you got. Good side-by-side battles here on this restart. Everybody trying to grab what they can. Brandon Morris slotted in 2nd position. Ernest King, Joe Stipe, Jacob Carter trying to muscle Matthew Hunsaker out of the way. Chris Camary now diving into position. He's got Jason Pearson following in suit. They're trying to go to town on Matthew Hunsaker. Bunch of hungry hippos here. For the most part, just trying to advance every
Matt
position they can.
There.
Yes, he did. That's going to open the door greatly to everybody now. He's going to lose so many spots.
Cameron Smith having a good run there on the inside. But we will tell here on how much he can get it. Keep that truck underneath him. Very good job on saving it there. And caution is out again.
Oh, Lyle trying to slow down, but rear ends the back of Campbell. I do believe that was Campbell. Yeah. So, not sure. I guess Campbell just got into the back of the 7. Going to see a replay here of what transpires.
Getting on the brakes, solo spin. Keeps it down there and instantly jumps to the pits. That's what another thing I like. Where is he? Right here. I want to see what happens here, but right behind.
I'm assuming they were just getting on the binders for maybe the caution coming out, or...
I would assume.
I'm not fully sure. I think the caution happened...
Oh, yeah, the caution was already out.
Oh, Cameron lost it. Cameron lost it on entry. So... And Christopher Campbell just nowhere to go. He's already committed to the lane. And here comes Lyle. I'll tell you, it's been a derby of sorts here this evening. So far.
I agree with you.
If I was a betting man, I'd probably say 20 cautions tonight, Brian.
Working our way there, but hopefully they can...
Yeah, hopefully we can not see that, because I definitely don't want to. I know the fans don't want to, you know.
Absolutely not.
So... We've probably got maybe 30 green flag laps of racing, if that, maybe.
Yeah, pretty much close enough to it. But Brandon,
if you had to take a rough guess,
because they're up there.
I want to say they're the only 2 that haven't pitted yet whatsoever. I think maybe everybody else behind has pitted for some reason or the other. Whether getting caught up in a crash or collecting damage, already taking a set of tires or topping off that fuel tank. I think it could be difficult, you know, whenever they finally make their pit stop to have to work their way back through. We'll just have to wait and see. Green flag about to be back out in the air. How many times can you say about in the same sentence? So 20 laps to go and we'll be at halfway. Are we going to get a caution or can we get 20 laps in? Everybody's racing, respectfully so.
I like what they do. I know these guys can do it.
Brandon Moore being challenged about around the outside. He's losing 2 positions, I do believe. Jacob Carter has gotten by. Oh. Dion Johnson and backed it back into the wall.
That's that hard braking zone for sure. I don't know if he had any help with that. Maybe not.
I wonder if that's the same guy I used to race with on Xbox. Dino, or I'll think of his gamer tag later.
Like I said, it's a very tough track.
Yep, just gets caught out under braking again. Will hops, and it is gone away already as if he's just driving on ice, and no way to drive out of it. It's already gone and backed into the corner.
Poor Dion.
A tough night for a handful of competitors this evening. Others, like Troy Daggett, Jacob Carter, Brandon Moore, they are thriving to survive. They're sticking it out, sticking up front, keeping their nose clean, not battling as of yet.
Not yet. I'm sure eventually if they can get it to where it needs to be, and actually get the laps going, I think it'll be all right. I think Iowa would be a little bit more of a better race. So. Been a doozy, that's for sure.
Yeah, Iowa is 0.8 of a mile short track, so just a little bit bigger of a track than this. Carry a little bit faster speeds, so normally Iowa can be a quite racy facility.
Absolutely.
Working caution 10, and like I said, haven't even collected 100 laps so far, but we're closing in on that mark as we're about to get another restart here. This time, Jacob Carter will be on the inside of Daggett. Brandon Moore no longer there, getting swallowed up by the fresh tires ever so slightly. Jacob Carter with a good hole shot restart matching Daggett. Don't know if it's going to be looked at as far as a penalty as iRacing concerns, as maybe jumping the leader, but I think it was pretty even Stevens, so maybe iRacing will see that and it'll be fair game. So looks like that is what the call may be. Jacob Carter now in control of this race with a fresh set of tires on that truck. Oh man, what a big moment.
Good save by Matt. Good job.
Yeah, I was going to say he's still driving out of that. So, excellent car control, truck control, however you like to word it. From Dave Barry have a moment. You can just see how tough this track is. It catches everybody out. Just be a little bit further back here. Everybody's a bit bottlenecked, going still at it, trying to gain those positions, trying to get everything that they can.
See Jaden Sanchez on the outside of Justin Steves there.
And we currently have one truck, one lap down. That's Robert Amaral in the 2 truck.
Good save
Brian
by Cam.
Sports.
Good job, Cam. Oh.
2 laps down. Paul Lawson is 3. Mark Berry is 4. And Jaden Sanchez is 6. J.D. O'Brien around for the second time this evening. Did he have help, or was it just another single action caution? Looks like it's single action, as if it's a revolver. So, coming off of turn 2, he lights up that rear end, and around the truck comes. So, into this retaining wall, full concrete, mind you, but he's just barely going to kiss it. If he even does that, Brian, it just maybe not even a lick.
There you go, Troy. Troy, Carter, Brandon, all coming into pits. Ernest King, Chris Camry.
Carter, or excuse me, Pearson stays out. Christopher Campbell stays out. Joe Stipes stays out. Matthew Hunsaker stays out. Justin Steebs, Michael Day, Fashos, Lyle, Cameron Smith, and possibly J.D. O'Brien. So the top 10 stay out.
Campbell's in the pits. Justin's in the pits.
Okay, so they just possibly wanted to lead a lap, or try to, I should say.
So that puts JP and Joe Stipe up in the front row there, Will.
Yeah, Jason Pearson, he's been nagging at the heels of, around the top 5, 4th, 6th position all evening, it seems like. So now, on the front row, like you talked about, on this restart, him and Joe. It's Matthew Hunsaker, Michael Day. Don't get to talk too much about Michael. Only whenever he makes his name known. Every week in this truck series, he's really been doing good about that.
Yeah, so now we just hit the halfway mark, Will. Now hopefully we can try to calm down a little bit and
and we only have 100 laps left of asking here. Looks like Dave Barry is the first truck, 1 lap down.
As they'll get ready to line up here. Now those guys who are up front are now about, well, they're still a little closer to the front, but
And Daggett, Moore, King, they are in Carter, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th position as far as the top 4 who are about the top 4 before this past caution. Pearson with a strong hole shot restart. Everybody battling, jockeying for a position here. Cameron really high up out of the groove, trying to Get that truck straightened out here.
You see Brandon Moore to the inside there as Carter.
Oh, Lyle.
Sideways. There you go. Good save. Good save by Lyle too. Matthew.
No, they're still trying. Oh no. That's going to be a big wreck, and it's another parking lot in 1 and 2 here.
This all started with poor Matt.
Yeah, I don't know if there was contact between Carter and Brandon Moore in the exit of turn 4, but yes, Matthew down here, Lyle coming up against Daggett. Daggett almost included in this, so he's going to get very lucky just to breeze by this ever so slightly. I think he might have got touched, but he's still going to breeze by it. But Matthew's going to really crank it back hard here, overcorrected here, and we got some synchronized spinning further back. They were probably trying to check up to avoid it, and bam, gets T-boned by yes.
Fast Schultz.
Yes.
It's been a wild one for sure. Cameron Smith up there in third. It's been a doozy, that's for sure.
Working our 12th caution, 107 laps in.
They'll get it. They just gotta readapt again. That was a good checkup by Brandon Moore and everybody behind him too as well. So when that had happened, and Matthew tried to do a great job by keeping it off of Brandon and try to yank it back the other way, but didn't want to yank it up in front of Fast Holtz like that. So it's very unfortunate for him. He's got collected in that ordeal. So excuse me, my apologies. So lights are off on the truck again as they will line up and come to take the green flag. As JP and Joe Stipe, Cameron Smith, Michael Day, Carter, Daggett, King, Moore, Camary, and Campbell is your top 10.
Daggett looking really strong here. He's trying to get back to the front. So, but he's also trying to bide his time as well. As Joe Stipe looking very racy, trying to take the lead away from Jason Pearson. They go side by side coming off the corner. Jason Pearson going to lead that lap, though, of that time of asking, I do believe, as it was a drag race to the stripe. Joe really sending it, charging it down into the corner, but Jason trying to have the run back, but Joe gets up there and he closes the door, so Joe takes the lead. A lead change will occur here. Daggett, though, strong on that inside. He's got fresh tires, fresher, of course, than Pearson or Stipe, but Pearson kind of pinches Daggett down on the bottom, so Daggett had to check up there a little bit. Caution is out, I'm assuming, Brian?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, J.D. O'Brien and Robert Amaral here. Robert now nowhere. Oh, J.D. just gets back to the throttle, lights up the rear, and you can see the rear just kind of start to spin away on him. And man, oh man, it's just calamity. Chaos, just, man. JD was probably like, man, I'm good. I can get this. And then, man, those tires said, nope, not today. And Mark, nowhere to go, Barry. That ought to be his new middle name. Just Mark, nowhere to go. Him and Jaden, man, I feel for them both because it just feels like, you know, they've just keep getting involved in everything. Brian Swartz going to get a lap back here.
I'd like to see it go green eventually.
Let's grab old Jason and see what he has to say at the moment.
JP, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, Jason, you're looking pretty racy up here at the moment. Working the 13th caution, though. Daggett is back up here trying to get the lead back. Are you going to try to hold him at bay? Joe just took the lead away from you. Are you going back for the lead?
I think we're just kind of battling back and forth here right now. I mean, the way these cautions are flowing, I mean, I just don't want to burn up too much tire too much early, and I think that's the way everybody's trying to conserve. But yeah, I think it's going to come down to the very end. It's going to end up being like the top 5.
So that's your goal for the evening, is just shoot for a top 5, Jason?
Yeah, that's what my main goal is. After all this right here, I know it's going to get crazy here with about 20 to go. So, I mean, yeah, I'm just hoping for a top 5 out of this.
Well, best of luck to you, Jason. Thanks for talking to us, man. Well, good goals, good game plan. You know, sometimes he has had, I do believe, a top 6, top 5 truck. So I do believe his words should hold true. If he can just keep it up there, keep it straight, everything should go his way for his goal tonight. But you never can tell. There's still a good piece left to race in this race. Joe picking that outside lane, whipping that truck around. They're 3 wide for 4th position on back for just a moment. Trying to settle it, Jacob Carter, Brandon Moore. Here comes Troy Daggett to the inside of Pearson. Pearson going to give him that bottom. Pearson doesn't have quite the stuff to fight off Daggett. Daggett taking second away, going...
Oof. I'm going to have a few words with our schedule maker, that's for sure. So you see here, Robin and Marl. Gets a little loosey-goosey.
Is it Amaral or Marl?
Amaral.
Okay.
Oh, he came right up across Dion's nose, and that's what done happened there.
It just looks like Robert just wasn't able to hold the truck down in his lane. Just jumps up from underneath him and up into Dion's path, and they just came together. 2 worlds collide there. Short track racing, more or less. Just sucks, really, for both of them. Bad night, just keeps getting worse.
.122 at 200, 14th caution. Oh, the fans got excitement, that's for sure.
Let's grab Brandon real quick.
Be more.
Brandon.
What's up?
Caution fest at the moment. Other than that, it seems like a fun track if you can get, some rhythm, some pace going, but everybody keeps wheel hopping into the corners and just spinning on their own or just collecting into a parking lot. But what's your thoughts overall racing here, Brandon?
I mean, it's a good racetrack. I enjoy it. You have to be very disciplined on the brake and entering the corner. I'd probably say no more than 10% dragging the brake to about halfway in the middle of the corner. But, yeah, I mean, if you can get a rhythm down, it's really fun, especially if you can get some racing with somebody on your outside. Second groove works pretty good. But, yeah, we just need to get it cleaned up, get people settled in here. If we can get some green flag racing, I think it'd be pretty fun to watch. But we'll see what we can do.
10-4. Well, best of luck to you, Brandon. Go get them, bud.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Well, getting the green flag back with 75 laps to go. Will we see the 15th caution? Will this be all of them? Hopefully they've got them all out of their system, but something tells me we just haven't. So Joe Stipe will be the control truck. Troy Daggett back in. Side the top two. He's back on that inside lane. Hasn't really been down there that much, only really trying to get back to the front. Green flag back out in the air. Troy with the fresher tires than Joe. Really trying to go for that lead, but look who's in third, Jacob Carter. He's trying to stay with Troy. Troy Daggett trying everything he can, and he clears Joe Stipe. So now that takes the battle to Jacob Carter, trying to get by Joe, as it's a melee further on back. Oh no, another caution, and it is Pearson. Pearson just kind of lights it up as he's going down the front straightaway and just gets back to the throttle. And the truck just didn't like it, Brian.
Yes, sir, it didn't. That happens, I mean. Fortunately, it's what it is, but very tough little track. You see JP gonna pull her in the pits, get some new Goodyears on it, and hopefully they can. Yeah, I mean.
Yes, hopefully his crew can go back, put some Goodyear Eagles on there, beat out some dents if he has any, and he can get back out there, go back to work. Well, 15th caution, working lap 130 here. Daggett, Carter, Stipe, Moore, Campbell, King, Smith, Camary, Berry, and Steves rounds out the top 10. Michael Day is in 11th. Fast Schultz is 12th. Schultz is 13th. And 14th, you have Lyle Pearson back in 15th. That is all that is on the lead lap. 15 trucks at the moment. The rest are either one or more laps down or out of this race. So, like we've talked about, slowly becoming a race of attrition out of the 25 starters that started this event. As we talked about, too, some of these drivers already this evening, if they can just start logging some laps, get into a rhythm, that's all it takes here. You just got to get that rhythm, find that rhythm. You can't really make too many mistakes here. We've already seen what happens if he can just make the slightest of the mistakes. What will happen, the severity of the wrecks that can be caused by just the slightest of mistakes. Green flag back out in the air here.
Big checkup.
They're side by side. Yes, indeed, big checkup. I should say they are side by side for that lead. Jacob Carter, Troy Daggett.
I don't know, Paul. Technically, no black flag should have been cleared. Unless they were wrecked down the pitch, that's the only thing that gets cleared. But I'll have to go back and look. I get all the event details and who did what, all that other great stuff. No one should be treated differently in this league. I don't tolerate it at all. So I'll have a few words and we'll go from there.
Oh, another spin down here in turn 1. Looks like Mark Berry, is it?
Yes. Well, somebody hit the wall. I know he tried to avoid it, and
yeah, there's some cross-up involved over here. Flash House gets contact and thrown into the wall. Mark does some evasive maneuvers and locks it down to avoid. So
very unfortunate. Almost 50 laps to go. I thought they were all getting into a rhythm, and I'll be darned.
closing in on just 50 laps to go here. We'll probably get there the next caution period. Jacob Carter kind of hustled the lead away from Troy Daggett as they were battling. Not sure if Troy got sandwiched in the wall or what happened, or if he just got loose out of 2 one of the laps by, but like I said, Carter got the lead. So Carter, Daggett, Moore, Campbell, Ernest King as the top 5. Joe Stark, Chris Camary, Dave Barry back inside the top 10 in 8th position. Cameron Smith and Michael Day rounds out the top 10.
Yep. Oh, Campbell, P4. Look at them. Well, that's normal for the 38 for sure. But
yes, Brian. What? Hello?
when I was replying to a message.
Oh, 10-4, yes.
38's been that way. He's always been that way. So it's just don't know how many more chances we can give. So we'll just have to wait and see after this race. And yeah. So Carter, Daggett, Campbell, Moore, Stipe, King, Camary, Barry, Day, Smith. Barry, Day, Smith. I like that. Carter to the outside, leaving the outside lane. Daggett to the inside, and the green flag is back out. Come on, boys. Let's take it on your
Daggett charging back to the inside against Carter. Carter's been very good to hold it, charge it back to the outside.
I like this view because then I can see everything that happens.
I'm glad you like it. But yes, it's a very challenging view for me.
There's that scuffle in the back there, 3 wide back there. Oh, and then around it goes. Dion gets hooked in the quarter, 3 wide move, and unfortunately nothing for Dion had happened there, and just I don't know how well the 3 wide in the turns goes, especially after coming off of turn 2 there. You're in the unfortunately caught in the middle. I just would have cracked the throttle a little bit and went from there. You see the 4 is already getting sideways, clips the left rear right down next to Jaden, and Jaden straight into the wall. Mark Berry again. Poor Mark. Poor Dion.
Yeah, Mark thought he was going to avoid it, and then just nowhere to go whatsoever. He got on the binders, and then the truck just started to hook down the track. I said we'll get to 50 laps to go under caution, and I believe we'll get there. We either get the restart at 50 to go or probably 49 to go.
Carter, Daggett, Moore, Campbell, King, Stipe, Berry, Camry, Pearson, and Day.
Please look here and see. After Iowa, you have the LA Coliseum, and then after that is Charlotte. So the first 5 tracks here, I would say, pretty. Each one is different to its own right. You know, Daytona, obviously, that 2.5 mile D-shaped oval, super speedway everybody loves. Then Myrtle Beach here, very technical short track. Iowa, it's kind of a beast within its own right.
Coliseum. That's going to be a tough one. I don't know. I think they'll fit all these guys on there. It'll just be. Oof. Anyway, pace truck back off. Carter, Daggett, Campbell, 50 laps to go. I mean, this is actually a short track that I feel like in real life with these truckers. I know these guys would have been done already. We're looking for another caution comes out. Poor Mark. Don't know if that rear comes out or... Oh. Dion got a little sideways, overcorrect. Loses that rear. Right in front of Mark. Alright, not so bad.
This is unfortunately not been one of those races you want to write home about. I don't think anybody in the field kind of has any good remarks, you know. This absolutely just I don't want to say a pathetic race, but man, it could have had a lot better moments, but I just feel like it's a track that not too many people are accustomed with because they're not normally going to drive it, so probably just caught some drivers off guard, off kiltered, so they just weren't used to it. How slick of a track it actually is or was, because like we talked about, it's no longer a thing in the real world, but like we talked about here on iRacing, you can go back and revisit it anytime you want to. I don't think we'll be coming back to it in the BNR Racing Series, but maybe sometime or another of asking down the road, but I'm all in favor of taking, you know, the Truck Series back to its roots of like short track racing, but you know, sometimes I'm even hesitant whenever I make a schedule, you know, to put Martinsville on the schedule, but I know if you don't, you know, you're going to hear some people say, well, where's Martinsville at, you know, so just one of those things where you...
But at least it's able to get around. I mean, the trucks wasn't too bad there when we went there. It's just, the issue is it's the braking points. Everybody's got different lift points. And that's what it is here. Everybody's lift points are so different to where they have to readjust.
Most definitely, that's kind of what we see here at the moment. That's kind of what it's been looking like. Just people having to get readjusted to others in front of them, or just racing incidences, really, for the most part.
Good battle here between Brandon Moore and Campbell.
Brandon Moore gets by Christopher Campbell, setting his sights on Troy Daggett. Troy trying to get back to the front, but Jacob Carter has just gotten around him. We know Carter can, once he gets in the right mindset, Brian, he can be just a knockout, drag out at a short track.
You see there, Joe to the outside. Don't know if he got loose. Oh, he hit the wall. Might have ricocheted off of it. No, there. Going into one. He might have locked his brakes up. Yes, because you see the truck starting to slide out from underneath of him.
Oh, Joe, who was running so good up at the front earlier in the race, just loses it right here. That truck is going to whip around on him.
He does a great job trying to get it off, and 62 at 200. You see there, Jaden Sanchez gets one of his laps back. Like I said, I wouldn't mind Martin's rule, but sure. Texas is also another good one. Probably be a lot better. Once you get out of the short track kick, it gets better. Short track seems to be where a lot of people struggle. Some are good, some aren't. But because I know normally after we get out of the short track swing, everything gets better from there. A lot more better racing, a lot of tight racing, a lot of side by side once you're out of the short track swing. So
sometimes, Brian, it's just a product of the racing, how the track is just slick, and it's just hard to get the power back down. You want to get the power back down, but you just can't. Some drivers, it comes all the way down to just the throttle sensitivity settings that they have, in the sim, so.
yes, sir. Indeed. Well, I know the pace truck got his worth here, that's for sure. 165 with 200 in the books.
I wouldn't be surprised if iRacing had to put some gas in it at some point. Green flag back out in the air. Can Carter capitalize and go back in front of Daggett and open up a gap in case they get an actual good green flag run here? Ernie going downstairs on Dave Barry. Now Ernest trying to do the same move to Christopher Campbell. Oh no, Ernest loses it coming off of turn 4 right before the stripe. But I think luckily for the other competitors involved, it's not going to be a caution as Cameron Smith, though, down. Is this a caution? Yes, it was. So it looks like Cameron just loses it coming out of the second corner here. Gonna get the replay. Tight racing back here, further back in the back of the pack. As yeah, it looks like he's just going to start to lose it. And he just gets away from it there, and it's going to come down, hit the inside retaining wall.
That is exactly what happened. Uh-oh. 171 of 200 in the books. Thanks to Tyler jumping out of his truck, gonna RC the remainder of the race. Hopefully things will eventually straighten up there.
Yeah, about to be 25 laps to go, thereabouts, when we get the green flag back in the air, Brian. So who's going to have anything for Carter, Daggett, Moore, Campbell up here in the top four?
As they're back to green flag again.
There's Camary up into, what is that, the 6th position. Trying to break his way into the top 5.
Caution's out again. See that 25 laps to go. You see the 4 gets sideways coming off the turn there. And that's going into 1. Same thing, brake points.
Well, he just corrected his truck coming out of turn 4. Now he's going to lose the nose going into turn 1. The nose just pivots on him. Going over these rumbles in 1 and 2, that's not going to help trying to catch that truck at all. Dave Barry puts on the binders. Ernie puts on the binders. And he's going to come down here, hit that inside retaining wall. Love how iRacing makes that the caution, but it definitely didn't have to be iRacing, but thank you.
Yes. Because he was off track and
But it happens. It's racing. It's motorsport. Cautions just have been breeding cautions tonight. It's just very bad, but it's part of it. BNR Truck Series, Myrtle Beach, 108, 108 miles here, 200 laps around. This evening is the scheduled distance. We just might go into overtime. Have a feeling, have a fear, but we still have 15 trucks on the lead lap. 2 trucks are multiple laps down. J.D. O'Brien comes back out. He's 65 laps down. But nevertheless, going to get the restart with either 20, maybe 19 to go here.
I think so.
20 laps to go on the restart, so like we've harpened about, Jacob Carter, Troy Daggett, Brandon Moore, Christopher Campbell, Jason Pearson, that's the top 5, Chris Camary, Justin Steves, Brian Swartz, Robert Amaral, and Joe Stipe. That rounds out the top 10. Green flag back out in the air for the 22nd time of asking. Everybody trying to put their truck in the best position possible to either retain that position or take a position away from the fellow competitor. Everybody trying their best to hit their marks.
They just try to get through this race like, okay, now that that's done, hopefully next week's a little bit more, I think next
yes, the road. Hopefully Iowa will be less bumpy than what Myrtle Beach has been here tonight.
Oh, shit. Oh. What a race.
Yeah, Dave Berry and Robert Emerald have a huge coming together.
I did not mean to slip and say that. It just caught me right off track.
It's okay, you can put that in the square jar. Or the swear jar, my apologies. It's not a square swear jar. It's just a swear jar. Yeah, Robert way up high. He's up in the marbles possibly, so he's may not have all the greatest control of his truck in the world. And down the track he's coming. And into Dave Barry, innocent bystander, in the bottom lane. He's probably like, why'd you gotta hit me for? And Robert just not doing that on purpose by no means, just it's been a long, grueling race, restart after restart after restart, Robert getting caught up in some things of his own accord, so he's probably not had the best of experience here, and like you just said, just trying to move on to the next week, and unfortunately just made a mistake, running a bit too wide, getting out of the groove, and after that, that was about all she wrote. 20-second caution. I've almost fallen asleep sitting here, but nevertheless, it's 10 minutes after 9 if you're in the Central Time Zone. If you're on the Eastern Time, it's 10 after 10. And, if it would have went green, we probably would have been done about 30 minutes ago, Brian, but we just have kept having these cautions after caution after caution. And yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes. It's unfortunate, but it is part of it, as we've talked about already.
Not sure how much time they have left. Oh, they still got they'll be able to get the race in.
One would hope so.
I know I would like to chew off all the fingernails, that's for sure. 'Cause I know these guys better than this, and they don't really drive like this. A lot of our guys, that's for sure. So
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that.
I know they're a lot better than this, and it's just hiccups in the road, that's for sure. That's all it is. And it'll get a lot better as we go, I hope. For the 22nd time, the green flag is back out again. Daggett, Carter, Campbell, Brandon Moore. 3 of your admins are up front. Once again, I want to thank Tyler Myers for stepping out of the truck and RCing the remainder of this race. So, you see Daggett get a little loose there on the inside, but Carter to the outside. I heard some contact.
That's exactly not what you want when you're trying to get the lead back. He had a very dominant truck in the early going before the halfway point, got back in the traffic, and still has yet to take the lead back away, so...
10 to go, coming
back
9
here.
laps to go. Hopefully they can...
Just a little bit further back, looking throughout the pack here.
Good run by B. You see him. See there, Ernie gonna dive inside the 94 there. 94 washes up a little bit. You got Dave Barry right behind these two. So
Very fierce, tight battling going on back here for what is 9th position, 9th and 10th position back here. 8th, 9th, 10th position.
these boys just want to get this race done, so they're gonna do everything they can. You see there the 4 caught on the inside there like Randy. There's your caution right there.
In all the scobbling, Daggett had gotten back into the lead. Oh, Daggett gets into the lead because... oh, that's not pretty.
No, it ain't. That just hurt Jacob's shot there. Mm. That's going to do a number
We will
to
probably.
Carter's truck there. I don't know if that's going to hurt. That looked pretty rough, I'm going to say. That was something that I know I ain't going to tolerate, that's for sure.
Yeah, the 4 had just spun down into the backstretch pit area like you talked about, and then got back going and was getting back going up slowly, and then the leaders came to him awful quickly and just wasn't quite able to fully get out of the way, I guess you could say, or was just not up to snuff. And yeah, that's kind of the net result of that. And like I said, doesn't look pretty, and no matter what angle you see it from, how you see it, how much damage does the 54 Jacob Carter have? Does he have anything to put up a fight in these closing laps here? This green-white checkered situation, can we get back to the white flag?
Ours looks okay at the moment. So I guess it's the first attempt at the GWC, so...
Here we go. Chris Camary going to restart 4th. Brandon Moore 3rd. Jacob Carter 2nd. Daggett is the control truck. Bringing it down. Green flag out in the air for the first attempt at this green-white checkered situation. Now in the closing laps of this race. Jacob Carter pulling away, trying to get back, but do we?
Overtime.
Yes, indeed. So coming to get the second green-white checkered of asking here. The 24th caution. Looks like Pearson and Camary had it coming together there out of turn 2, possibly. And then coming into turn 3, Camary thought he could come down and defend that position. Pearson already had a nose there. Unfortunate for Camary.
Yes, very unfortunate for Chris, having a great run, for sure. Hate to see it, really do.
Working our 24th caution, our second green-white checkered attempt here. We only have 3, so 13 trucks, I do believe, on the lead lap. Should probably get the green flag this time by, or not this time, but next time by. The pace truck should peel off.
Yes, sir, indeed.
Are you going to switch the camera angle, please?
Yes. My bad.
All good. So yes, lights are out on that Chevy Silverado GMC Sierra General Motors iRacing Pace Truck. Brandon Moore back to the bottom lane. He's got Jacob Carter to his outside, going to be the control truck, bringing him down to the restart. It's a pretty even Stevens restart. They both get into turns 1 and 2 side by side. Brandon Moore back to the power. It's a drag race down the back straightaway, getting into 3 and 4. Here they come out of turn number 4, getting the white flag. Jacob Carter brushes the wall. That's going to slow his momentum down. Daggett's going to take that second place. He could still have that lingering damage of which we talked about. He's back in the wall. Back in the wall. Pearson's underneath him now. Daggett all over the back bumper of the 3 truck. But Brandon Moore going to hold off Daggett. Daggett spinning. Checkered flag is in the air. Wow. Brandon Moore able to hold off a spinning Daggett.
I want to go back.
Jacob Carter.
They gave it to JP on that one.
Yes, they did. A photo finish for third between Jason Pearson and Jacob Carter. I do have to say, though, if the caution does not come out with 4 laps to go, Carter getting into the back of the 4 of Lyle. I think this is Carter's race, but here they come coming out of turn number 4. The white flag, checkered flag is waving. Pearson on the bottom in the 82 machine, Carter up top in the 54. And you can see how this not so straight straightaway works in Pearson's favor.
By .001.
Man, just look at that. So our top 3 tonight that stands on the podium. Brandon Moore wins the race. Troy Daggett in P2 after leading and dominating most of this race just by trying to stay out and match those restarts all the time while he was in the lead. But second place for Troy Daggett. Third place will be the way of Jason Pearson with the photo finish with Jacob Carter. Brandon Moore qualified on pole by just beating Troy Daggett by
this
a
is
10th.
This is saying race results. Carter got JP.
Well, we could always interview both of them. Yes, it is saying Carter by .620 to Pearson 623. So 3/1000ths of a second is the difference for third place. That photo finish for third place.
Well, we'll just talk to both of them, because so we'll go ahead and maybe I'll bring up JP first. JP.
Yo.
Well, it says Carter's got ahead of you, but we're going to interview both of you because we do believe that was a fair third place for both of you. A hell of a fight between you and Jacob there towards the end. Once again, my apologies. I did not make the schedule, so that's just going to be that. But wow,
I like Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is a good short track, man. Yeah, it brings out the good short track driver in you.
Oh yeah, but anyway, congratulations, P3/4, 4/3, whatever you want to call it. A lot of ups, a lot of ups and a lot of downs. It was a very rough race from the start. Go ahead and walk us through the whole race in general, how the track was handling, and what maybe could have been the hiccups throughout the race tonight.
Well, the bumps will beat you to death already. I mean, on both ends of the track. Well, you would think the bottom groove, the bottom line, would be the quickest way around here. Well, really, I mean, I think it makes you a whole lot more loose coming off the turns. So that middle to high line was the line I used the whole race to make any kind of moves or passes. The high line really worked for me, and I think it did for quite a few people there. But just the caution flags, man, it really drained a lot of people in the race. You could hear a lot of the complaining and stuff going on. I finally had to leave the chat and just go join a chat by myself. I done heard enough of it, but you could tell people was getting aggravated with each other, and you just had to be patient. I mean, hell, I pitted on lap 30 there, and I come all the way back from 20th. I come all the way back up to the top 5, and hell, I spun out, I wrecked, went all the way to the end, and come all the way back up. As long as you're patient and take your time, don't try to force anything. I mean, you can just about maneuver your truck anywhere you want to on the track, as long as it's driving good.
Yes, sir, indeed. What would you say was the most difficult part of this race? Well, I know the whole race was, but once again, my apologies. Absolutely, it is. But what was the difficult part of this race, you would think, between not just yourself, or just others in general, that maybe they can get more familiarized with short track racing, kind of, sort of? Because next week is Iowa. You guys go to another short track, unfortunately. But I think Iowa is going to be a little bit more of a better race.
Yeah, I think more people be more familiarized with Iowa than they are at Myrtle Beach anyway.
Yes, sir. So, what's going to be your overall mindset going into Iowa next week?
Well, I really wanted the top 5. That was my main goal, just coming in this race and leaving out with a top 5, because I missed Daytona last week. I had a broken monitor, my widescreen got knocked over by my cats, so I had to wait 2 days for another one to come through in the mail from Amazon.
Oof.
But yeah, I about had tears in my eyes. Yeah, that was rough, man.
Because I know you love yourself some Daytona.
Hell yeah, that was tough.
You've always loved yourself some Daytona, that's for sure. I know you like a hawk. So Daytona's always been good for you, always.
Oh yeah, always. Yep.
Never met, and that's where you got your name, the old big dog, from. So.
That's right. Oh, growth.
That's right.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to Iowa, man. Just going in here with the momentum I'm carrying. Just hopefully to get another top 5 out of there and just keep it going, man. Just keep it consistent.
Oh, absolutely, indeed, sir. Will, you got anything for Mr. JP here?
Well, any final thoughts, shout-outs, anything else you'd like to add, Jason, before we let you go celebrate that epic photo finish? Unfortunately, it says you might have got 4th. We still don't know unofficial results.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that P4. It looks like I lost it by 3 thousandths.
No, you still got the top 5, like you said. You know, the goal that you had set for the race. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I like to shout out my fam watching, my friends on the Big Dogs Gaming on Facebook. I'm streaming live right now myself. Tom, the setup man, I can't thank you enough for everything. Huge shout out, buddy. Sarge, Randy, Big Dogs, everybody that's a part of it. BNR for putting everything together. Having us a great competition races every day, every Tuesday night, every Friday night, Saturday night. I mean, it keeps going throughout the week. I'm just grateful to be here and have some great friends to race with.
Yes, sir. You know, it's always an honor to have you here. I'm so glad you came over to have some fun. It will get a little better, is what I'm hoping for. So we did a little adjustment. So looking forward to see what you got at Iowa, and hopefully you keep this top 5 momentum going. And then best of luck to you Thursday. Unfortunately, I will not be here. I am out of town and attending the funeral and stuff like that. But best of luck to you if you're going to be there Thursday at Michigan.
Thank you, and I hope the service goes great, brother. My condolences to you again.
Thank you, sir. I'll get you back over there, and looking forward to see you Saturday.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a great night, man.
You too. Carter is a little not so doing well, so we're gonna hold off on him. We'll go to Troy. So we'll go ahead and
10-4.
pull Troy up. I don't blame Carter. I would be very upset myself, but I'm gonna let him cool down before anything. So we'll go ahead and bring up Troy. Unfortunately, rough race. Not what, like I said, once again, not what I was expecting. I didn't make the schedule, so once again, my apologies to those who are watching and those who had to deal with all the consequences. That's why 9 times out of 10, I like myself or you will like to make the truck schedule. But anyway, that's besides the point. Mr. Daggett.
Are you there, Troy?
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
Well, other besides, what you also had to sit through, fairly decent, can't complain. Other besides, like we talked about, the Caution Fest. What's your interpretation of it, Troy? You had a dominant piece, for the most part, early goings, on the restarts and whatnot, keeping it at least like a whole shot advantage every time until the next caution would come out. But overall, what's your thoughts and the overall finish of tonight's race?
It was a little rough race. A lot of cautions. I'm not expecting that. I was hoping to get some good green flag runs going, but just didn't happen out that way. Because I felt like I could save my tires on the long run, and the few times when I got behind Jacob, I could see him burn on the right rear, but we just never developed. Was it more than like 8 laps or something like that?
Pretty much. So, it was just a pretty drag out kind of race as far as just the cautions after cautions goes. There was a couple of hopeful moments, and then I think we got 12 laps in that one time, and then bam, another caution came out. If we got that many, but next week is Iowa, just a slightly bigger track than here at Myrtle Beach. But what's kind of the thoughts and mindset going into Iowa?
I think Iowa should be a lot better. A lot more people have driven by Iowa than Myrtle Beach. I mean, Myrtle Beach is not a common track that everyone races on. I mean, if people have raced on it, it's a good track to race on because I hosted a street stock race last Monday on it. We did great. We went green flag the whole way. I know. So, but it's a different car. The trucks have a little more power. But I'm expecting Iowa to be a good race because it's a little bigger, multiple grooves, and everyone, I think, has driven a lot more.
Excuse me. Yes, Troy. I was kind of expecting a little bit more green flag run because this track is similar to, Richmond, maybe a little bit North Wilkesboro, and some of those guys have raced on those tracks a lot, and you would think, well, if you just kind of apply what you know from those tracks or other short tracks, you could apply here. But do you think maybe just them not maybe being too familiar with Myrtle Beach as why we saw so many cautions tonight?
Yeah, I think it was just being not familiar with it. Because if I would miss my mark, then that corner, just by a foot, I would just blow the the corner, truck would get loose. So it was real mark sensitive on this track.
Yes, indeed. It looked like it for sure. Heavily mark sensitive, and also really where you pick back up the throttle. Any final thoughts, maybe shout outs you'd like to give before we let you go celebrate that P2?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for putting this league on and hosting this race. It's fun to enjoy. Like I said, I'm over here on the West Coast, so I get to come over here and race on the East Coast with you guys. So, I'd like to thank my wife and kids for letting me hop on here and race. Chris Camary, 1-5 Studios for designing the truck. I'd like to say congrats to Brandon Moore for the win. And Jacob Carter was a dominant truck, and that one lap car kind of screwed him over. He would probably win the winner.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. We saw that. That was I don't know of another word to use at the moment, but just maybe a bit shameful. But lessons learned. Maybe everybody can walk away and learn something from it. I know it looked like something everybody could. I'm kind of speechless at that point, because it's always tough to kind of say something whenever it's just a slow truck trying to get back going, or just doesn't quite have the speed after he has found the wall or something of those sorts, and just kind of got in the way there, unfortunately. But yes, next week, Iowa, hopefully you can carry this momentum forward, and also the rest of the season, Troy, and go celebrate that podium finish. And thanks for talking to us after the race, Troy.
All right, thank you guys. You guys have a good night.
You too, buddy.
You too.
Again, my apologies.
It's okay.
Nah, buddy, you have yourself a good one.
You too.
Carter says he's calmed down, so we'll go ahead and bring him up. Well, Mr. Carter, here you are. Well, I would just say go ahead and take it away, I guess.
Truck did great. There was nothing wrong with the truck till the end, but truck ran great. We was going to run Troy a race for sure, and definitely wasn't going to be easy for him to pass me when he got up to me. Just the caution fest was kind of killing me in the long time, and you know how I am. I love doing long races, and I love lapping doing laps around short tracks, and it kind of eases my mind up and get faster every time. But it wasn't today. We had to pit once, and that was it. So just pitiful all the way around. How many cautions we got? We got 24 cautions. 24 cautions.
Yes, indeed, Jacob. 24 cautions in total. And like you said, never could get a long run produced. And I do kind of agree. It kind of hurt you and some of the fellow competitors. Next week, Iowa. I know you had a pretty good shot to win here tonight. Kind of got taken away from you. You had a good photo finish there. Walked away with a podium finish, P3. You and JP, Jason Pearson there, had a real good finish on that second green light checkered there to close up the race. I know you were probably struggling, fighting with some damage that you sustained contacting with the floor, but you still finished out the race strong with that podium finish to carry these points forward throughout the rest of the season going into Iowa. What's the mindset going in next week?
Yeah, once I got the damage, the truck was just pushing in the corner. Like the 1 and 2 was fine, and then 3 and 4, it just slid right into the wall. So I was like, well, that's it. And so I seen JP coming, and I said, come on, turn. And finally it turned, and I drag raced him and side drafted him all the way down to the finish. So, yeah, P3, not bad. Like I said, I'm not happy, and y'all know I'm not happy. I'm just trying to keep my cool for the audience, and I'm trying not to be a Kyle Busch and say I'm just here because I don't want to get fined. But Iowa going into there, I'm gonna try to win it, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we've seen you be pretty decent before in the past at Iowa, so best of luck to you next week, Jacob. And thanks for talking to us. We know temperatures kind of, are
I'm a hothead.
everything unfolded the way it did. I would probably feel the way you do too. So just go celebrate the good run that you did have here tonight, Jacob, and keep the head held high and strong going forward, like I said. And like I said, any final thoughts, shout-outs, anything else you'd like to add about tonight's race or maybe going forward?
Oh yeah, I'm a little pieced, but I'll be okay. We'll come back next week and show them what we can do again. But want to shout out y'all for making this happen, and shout out to Brandon helping me get by the 99 on that green, white, and checkered. But it didn't matter because like I said, I had damage. Truck was crap anyway. So and want to thank everybody for being behind me through rough times, and we'll see y'all next week.
Yes, sir. Best of luck to you Thursday. I will not be here. I'll be out of town, so there'll be no broadcast. Got to attend to funerals, so.
Yes, my condolences to you and your family
Thank you, sir.
severely.
Much appreciated. It's going to be a little rough, that's for sure, but need you to carry that level head into Thursday, hold the fort down. But awesome job on the P3. Unfortunately, not the way you wanted it. You would prefer the win, but fortunately, don't fall far from a pig's rear. So I was gonna say something else, but we gotta try to keep it pretty good here. But keep that momentum up, sir. You can do it. I know you can. You're a hell of a driver, just like everybody else. So best of luck to you, and just keep striving to success. And I think you'll be just quite well.
Yeah, he better be glad I have a win because, like I told them, I told them, they was like, "Are you not mad? Are you not pissed off?" I was like, "No, I'm honestly frustrated because why would he do that?" And I was like, "It's probably just because I already won and I'm already in for the finals, so it's kind of just that mindset. Like, let it go, keep going, make sure you're getting better every day." So
Yes, sir.
we'll see what we can do.
Yes, sir. Just like I said, keep that head high, and best of luck to you. I'll be talking to you in a little bit after we get done with Brandon. So hang around and
Alrighty.
go ahead and chit chat for you. All right,
Cool
buddy.
down.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right, buddy. Last but not least, well, one of the last, Brandon Moore. I just don't know what to say, B. Anyway,
I don't either.
wow, that's it. But congratulations on the win. That's about right where I sit. So, well, if you want to take the floor away, go ahead and take the floor away. Will go ahead and do your interview with Brandon.
Pretty exhausting race, Brandon, due to the just the rabbits breeding themselves out there tonight. Other than that, I would say, when we did have some green flag action, it was some good racing. But when it was rare and far in between, would you say to maybe put this track on the schedule again or never? What would you say, Brandon?
I mean, I stand by. I think it's a good track. I mean, it is a driver's oriented track, and if you're not familiar with it, it could be very punishing, especially if you're not good at trail braking into the corner and knowing how to get back to the throttle smoothly and not just gassing it up. And I think that's what a lot of people fought with tonight. But I would have it on the schedule again. But We need to just get everybody more familiar with it and learn how to drive these, tough to drive short tracks.
Exactly.
The good comparison to this track would be Richmond. It's pretty much has the same discipline as Richmond would. So that's the best way I would describe how you need to try to run this track.
Overall, when you were racing, I know we didn't get a lot of it tonight, but I know you basically did already describe it, but just describe a little bit more of like the fun you were having.
I mean, we had a lot of fun there at front, especially with Jacob and Troy there. I was pretty much just following them, just saving tires on it. I was hoping to keep the tires on it a little bit better than they were because they were pushing a little bit harder, and I was going to try to make my run at it towards the end. And unfortunately, closer to the end, Jacob had his unfortunate incident that really cost him a chance to win that race. But yeah, we ended up coming out with the win. So overall, I can't complain, other than a lot of pacing.
Right.
Once again, my apologies. The one who made it is actually up there in the lounge, so you can share a few words with him. So.
Well, I just feel like the drivers, if they would put more time in the practice, it could have been a really good race. It's a good track. It's got 2 good lanes. I mean, you can run that second groove, you can run the bottom, and you can be competitive in either groove. It's just a matter of fact of being able to handle the truck.
Next week is Iowa. In these series now this season, if I'm not mistaken, there's no playoffs whatsoever. So it's just run what you brung all season, and that consistency is the key factor. So next week is Iowa. What's the key factors going into Iowa for you, Brandon?
I mean, Iowa's got a lot of different characteristics to it. It's got that kind of short track feel, but it is a very fast track. You can carry a lot of speed there. You got to make sure that you're going to keep the tires on it for one, and then takes a little bit of throttle discipline there as well. Biggest part is not getting to the gas too soon. If I remember correctly, last time we went there, if you get to the gas too soon in the middle of the corner, it will get very, very tight. And if you have to lift off the corner exit, you're going to kill all the momentum down the front stretch, or the back stretch, according to which corner you're exiting. But it should be fun. I don't think that we're going to have near as many yellows there. Iowa is a tough track, but it's not as tough as what we just raced. I think it should be a good show.
Yes, indeed. I have to agree with you on that. So, any final thoughts, shout-outs, anything you'd like to add, Brandon, before you go celebrate this win and maybe play some more COD or whatever else you have in plan tonight before you go crashing up bed?
Yeah, we plan to go straight to the bed. 6 o'clock comes early.
Yep, 10
But no, I just want to thank everyone who came out to watch the race, and to all who made it through all the cautions. Y'all are awesome, and just want to thank the broadcast booth. Thank all the drivers who come out to participate, and want to apologize to Jacob, even though I wasn't involved with it. I hate that he had his incident. He would have been a very strong contender for that win, and I hope he has a better shot at it next week. That's pretty much it.
Well, thanks for talking to us, Brandon. Congratulations on the pole and winning the race. Strong, hard-fought victory all around, like you talked about. Jacob was probably going to be the one to beat in the closing laps if he did not run into that problem there, the rolling chicane of Lyle, unfortunately. You hate to see it all around, but it's part of it. It's part of racing sometimes. Sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you are the windshield. Exactly. So hopefully better fortunes for everybody next week at Iowa. Tonight, I think just how slick the track is just kind of caught out a lot of people. Like you said, if you're not used to kind of trail braking or maybe braking on the straights, before you dive into the corner, you're not going to be that great here in the first place. So,
And I feel like if it would have been different temperatures, especially if it would have been just a full-blown night race, the track would have tightened up. And with that tighter track, I feel like it would have been a little bit more forgiving, especially on that corner exit. So that might be something that we look maybe at towards the future if we put it back on the schedule.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. All good thoughts to think about. Well, Brandon, you go celebrate this win. Catch up with you later, man. You have yourself a good night.
All right, that sounds good. Thank you, gentlemen.
You too. Last but not least, someone want to pop in, so we'll go ahead and give him a little pop in. Mr. Chris.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How is it going, sir?
Oh, just frustrated.
Yeah, besides. There are a lot of people that are. I know me and Will was too up here, so. You were up there for a bit with your teammate there of Troy. You did good. Looked like the rear of the truck slipped out from underneath you from what I saw, but I could be wrong. I don't know if you had any contact going into turn 1, I do believe was where you lost her, or was it 4? Might have been turn 1. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I started back in 24th. I didn't qualify and drove it up to 4th was the highest I got. And then the first green-white checkered caution, that was my fault. I tried to self-clear across Pearson, I guess, and threw the whole thing away for him, even though I was sitting up there like all night. And then, yeah, in turn 1 there, I think I was just trying to go too hard, and I was about to dump, who was that, Smith, I think? And so I tapped the brakes, and I guess I just lost it. Like it down there, I ruined it.
Hey, short tracks are tough, especially with this much. I know you guys all want to get this done. Me too. Me and Will both did. We're like, all right, when are we gonna be done with all these cautions? When we all said it was rough. Once again, my apologies. I did not make the schedule, so
yeah.
It'll get better. It'll get better as we go. I know this is a fun track. I enjoy it. Absolutely, I do. It's a great track to drive on, and I'll kind of like me and Will said, it kind of reminds of Richmond a little bit. So
yeah, you guys know I'm a little decent at the short tracks. I prefer the short tracks, so I was doing pretty good. And this is good when it was green. It was a lot of fun, but it just
it swallowed everybody up. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Next week, Iowa. I don't know if you're going to be here, but if you are, what's going to be your mindset going into Iowa?
If I do race next week, it is take it easy. Take care of the tires. Take care of the tires. Take care of the tires.
Easy. Take it. Exactly. Sorry, it just came to mind there.
Taking care of that right front is crucial because it's easy to burn that off quick if you want to go hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Richmond. I mean, Iowa's very tough, especially 1 and 2. That bump on the outside there will do a lot. So.
Yeah, and congratulations to Troy up there in second place, my teammate. Good job by him. He's pretty quick. So you guys, you're welcome for bringing over a good driver to your league.
Troy's great. I'm glad to have him here. Me and Will said we'd like to see him and B, him and Brandon and Jake. I think those two put a hell of a fight on too. And then if you're up there, you four just kick ass every week if whenever that does decide to happen. But Troy's great. I enjoy Troy. I like seeing him up front, giving these boys a hell of a fault battle. I know he said he's from the West Coast, so awesome to have him come out and be a part of the Truck Series. And unfortunately, this race was a little rough. That's for sure.
Yeah, I've known Troy for a few years, and he's been on the iRacing, and I'm just watching him get better and better and better. He used to be kind of crappy like me, and now he's just light years ahead because he's on here, just cranking laps out.
Yes, sir. Well, you got anything for your fellow colleague here on Saturday?
No, I do not. It was a strong run by you, Chris. Just unfortunate coming together there, like you said, in the closing laps there in the first green-white checkered, but if you're here at Iowa, I know next week you'll probably run strong. It's basically another short track, so you always pretty much run good at the short tracks. So, yeah, Chris, just best of luck to you going forward the rest of the Truck Series season. I know you like to race these trucks, so you always give it a good shot. So great to see you out there, man.
Thanks, guys.
No problem. Is there any shout outs you want to give before we let you go? Or
Mostly just Troy. I guess my wife for letting me hop on here. But yeah, teammate Troy. It's good. It's always good racing with him. Being having a teammate in the room. So we're gonna go hit up the super speedways. I was supposed to race with him last week at Daytona, but I ended up being sick. So, anyways, yeah.
Good thing you're a lot better now. So, unfortunately, not the way you want your race to go, but.
Yeah, the super speedways are usually pretty good for me. I don't know why. I guess I'm just not patient, so I move up towards the front and then stay out of stuff. But I usually mess it up because, again, I'm just good like that. Or bad.
All right, buddy. Thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for chit-chatting with us for a bit. Best of luck to you next week. Hopefully you are here and I'd like to see you out on track again. I'm out of town. And I'll come back Saturday. Hopefully I make it Saturday, because that'll be great if I do. But hopefully bring you a good show on Saturday. So, yeah, just enjoy your night. Go spend time with the family, and thanks for coming out again.
All right, thanks, guys.
No problem, buddy. Well, Will, that will move the wrong person. That will do it for us here tonight. Well, once again, I want to thank you ever so much for coming out here, going through the pain that we went through tonight and every week, actually, to be honest with you. I'm sorry that I will not be here Thursday. Michigan is a great race to call. Absolutely is. And,
That's perfectly fine. That, I understand. Other things come first, like family. So, like everybody else has said, my condolences to you and your family go out, thoughts and prayers as well. So, yeah, hopefully it's a safe trip to and from. So, get back in one piece, everybody involved, all the family members. So, like what you were about to say, from myself, Will Roberts, Brian Hunt, we would like to thank each and every one of you for coming out, tuning in, cheering on your favorite BNR racing driver during this truck race this evening. And, we'll be back probably sometime next week to bring you more BNR Racing Network action. Until then, we would want each and every one of you to just hope